Hi, I'm Linda McKenney, and I'm a life coach, which means that I can help you design your best life. And I also specialize, as Don mentioned, in coaching people who are struggling with eating disorders and food addiction. Life coaching is a foreign concept for a lot of people. And the reaction I often get when I tell people I'm a life coach is something like this. Oh, you're a life coach. That sounds interesting. But I imagine what the person is really thinking is, what the heck is a life coach? And I know someone who could use one. What I think, a succinct description of life coaching is this. Imagine a relationship with someone who you can speak with candidly, who's completely in your corner and will not judge you or any of your decisions. Now you may be thinking, well, I have a friend like that. Aha, but that relationship needs to be reciprocal. Because your friend's going to listen to you, you need to return the favor, or you're likely to lose that friend. With a life coach, it's all about you, and you get to do all the talking. Seriously, shutting up is our specialty. However, my husband may not agree with that. Now, I've dipped your toe in the water. Let's dive in and envision what the process might be like. Imagine you find yourself in a rowboat in the middle of a beautiful lake, which has a varied shoreline. So you have mountains, and you have a beach, and you have a forest, and you have a park with food vendors, and most importantly, restrooms. Your state of mind in that moment is going to determine where you're going to go. You have one little problem. You have no oars or a motor. So the only way to propel your boat forward is to sit in the back seat and kick your feet in the water. Well, you're not very hungry, and you don't have to go to the bathroom at the moment. Apparently you haven't had the benefit of a mother who says, even if you don't have to go, if you see a restroom, you should use one. You head toward the mountains, kicking and kicking and kicking. Now, because of your position in the boat, your back is to the mountains, you're looking at the beach as you're kicking, kicking, kicking. So it doesn't take long to forget why you even wanted to go to the mountains in the first place. You're getting warm, you're kicking, now the beach seems to look like the ideal location. So you turn your boat around, and now you start kicking toward the beach. However, you've already gone a ways in this direction, so you've spent some time, you've got longer now to go this way. You thought you were going in the right direction. It wasn't the best choice necessarily. So now we're heading toward the beach, and you realize, I do have to go to the bathroom. However, you don't want to climb over the side of the boat and drop into the water because you're afraid that you won't be able to get back in the boat again. So you once again change direction, and now you're headed toward the restrooms. A breeze comes up and is pushing the boat, and you're kicking harder and harder, and now you realize you're hungry, and you are tired, and you are frustrated and miserable, and you don't even care if you wet your pants at this point. You just let the breeze take you. You give up. You resort to doing nothing. Now, this is where you need to suspend your disbelief just a little bit more in this fantasy, because in that moment of despair and hopelessness, I appear in your boat. You were hoping for a sandwich and a porta potty, but you got me. I have a motor. So, we attend to your immediate needs. I attach the motor, we go right to the restroom, and then we get some food. And now that your basic needs are satisfied and you're comfortable, we can have a long conversation where I'm going to ask you a lot of questions to uncover your dreams and to figure out your strengths. And what resources are you going to need to design your best life? When you were alone in that rowboat, you expended a lot of energy, misdirected energy, a lot of emotion, and a lot of physical distress, and you never had a desired outcome. Have you figured out, I should have been there from the get-go? But I want you to know this, if I were, I wouldn't have helped you kick. And the reason why? It's your journey. And you know what? You're going to have to do the hard work. However, I'm going to be right there beside you, and I'm going to help you choose the best direction, and possibly the shortest and most pleasurable route. And if you change your mind along the way, I'm going to change right along with you, because flexibility is my middle name. Well, it's really Anne, but flexibility sounds more coach-like, don't you think? I would have had some suggestions for you before you even got in the boat. Perhaps take a course on getting into and out of a rowboat in the middle of a lake. Bring some provisions with you to sustain yourself. Talk to an expert about lake topography, and probably interview McIver to figure out how to take and make a motor out of nothing at all. My goal as your coach is to help you uncover your dreams. That's my responsibility. I don't have to be an expert in everything. And that's the beauty of being a coach. I've had a lot of life experiences and a varied life, and quite a bit of a long life, but don't ask how long. As you uncover your dreams, you're going to feel more happiness and pleasure in your life. Now, we have family and friends who try to give us advice, and they have the best intentions, but that advice that they give you really comes from their perspective, which may or may not be in line with yours. And sometimes we wind up living someone else's dream, and a life of what I call default rather than design. It's quite beneficial to have someone on your side who has no vested interest in your life. And seriously, I don't care. We would not have, with a coach, you do not have an emotional or demanding relationship, and there are no ulterior motives. If you are wondering if you could benefit having a life coach, here are some questions to consider. Are you finding it more and more difficult to find things to be grateful for? Does that incessant chatter in your brain have you so confused you don't even know where to start making changes? And I do not take on clients who tell me they do not have a little voice in their head. Are you letting decisions pile up so that you're carried along by happenstance? Have all those self-help books stopped helping? If you answered yes to one or more of those questions, you could probably benefit from having a life coach. And then the first thing to do is research, because this is going to be a very intimate, so to speak, relationship. And you want to have a connection and trust in this person that you invite into your life. So you would want to interview coaches just as you would interview any other professional that you invite into your life. And one really good resource that you all have is the Tennessee Coaches Alliance. A whole list of coaches. Now, life coaches have a preferred way of working with clients. And for example, my preference is to sort of incorporate humor into the process. But I want to make sure it's clear that I never laugh at my clients. We can find humor in most of the circumstances in our lives. And I find that if I can step back and find a little bit of humor in a problem, the result is often more imaginative and enjoyable and doable solutions to the problem. There are scientifically proven benefits to laughter and mirth. And if you do not believe me, you can Google it, because that's what I did. If you have more humor in your life, you can expect these types of effects. You will have increased creativity. You will have improved problem-solving ability. You will have an increased ability to cope with stress. And you will have enhanced memory. Laughter and happiness are often synonymous. And if we could imagine our happiness as a really nice dock going out into that beautiful lake, the piers that support it would be some of the circumstances in our life, such as faith, work or our jobs, marriage or partnership and family, charity, and freedom. A lot of my clients are looking for happiness in their lives, more of it. And so in addition to laughing, we work on those foundations and those life circumstances which give them the best chance of increased happiness. Daniel Boone once said, "I was never lost, but I was bewildered once for 3 days." A life coach can help you reduce bewilderment and also prevent you from getting lost along life's journey. I'm Linda McKenney, and as a life coach, I can help you design your best life. We only pass this way once. Why not have a little more laughter?